I want to talk about Antarctica. They are clearly protecting or preserving something that may or may not be under 3 miles of ice.
There's undoubtedly a time when Antarctica was lush and green. The question is, was it lush and green during the lifetime of the human species?
Yes.
And this is where it gets tricky.
Imagine embarking on an expedition to the frozen, remote expanses of Antarctica, only to uncover secrets of a lost civilization that might have thrived there in ancient times. This fascinating theory suggests that parts of a sophisticated ancient civilization could have existed on what is now the icy continent of Antarctica. This idea is tied to the hypothesis of Earth crust displacement,
whereby from time to time the entire outer crust of the Earth, like the skin of an orange, might shift, leaving the core of the Earth in place.
indicating that Antarctica wasn't always positioned at the South Pole, but might have enjoyed a more temperate climate long ago, making it hospitable for human life. However, this theory is not without its controversies.
Does it happen at all is the first question. I mean, of all the theories I've looked at and supported, this is the one that I've come in for the most criticism for.
The concept of such dramatic geographical shifts is viewed by the scientific community as highly speculative and lacking in solid geological evidence. The current understanding of plate tectonics does not support the possibility of the Earth's crust moving so drastically and quickly to reposition an entire continent from a temperate zone to the South Pole. But the theory delves deeper than just geography. It explores global myths, legends, and religious texts, interpreting them as potential clues to the existence of this ancient civilization. Tales of great floods and cataclysms found in these stories are not seen as mere fiction, but as allegorical records of real events that led to the downfall of this advanced society.
The most important issue to me is the issue of a global cataclysm at the end of the Ice Age.
It is hypothesized that a major disaster, such as a flood or comet impact, could have been the cause of this civilization's disappearance from historical records, with survivors possibly dispersing around the globe and spreading their advanced knowledge to other emerging cultures.
Of course, the most important are the flooded continental shelves. Sea level rose 400 feet at the end of the last ice age. Let's be clear, this was a rise that was extended over a period of 11 or 12,000 years. It did not rise 400 feet overnight.
This leads to another intriguing aspect of the theory, the influence of this lost civilization on later societies. It is believed that the remnants of this ancient society played a significant role in shaping the development of well-known ancient cultures, such as the Egyptians and Sumerians. Similarities in architectural structures and astronomical alignments across different ancient sites are cited as evidence of a shared origin of knowledge. This suggests that these early civilizations might have inherited advanced architectural techniques, astronomical insights, and possibly other lost technologies and wisdom from their predecessors.
The discovery of the technique to do longitudes that actually show the world as it looks during the last ice age suggests that somebody during the last ice age was mapping the world.
Imagine a world where an advanced civilization flourished tens of thousands of years ago, long before the Sumerians of Mesopotamia marked what we consider the dawn of civilization around 6,000 years ago. This bold claim challenges the conventional timeline of history, suggesting that this sophisticated society existed during the last ice age or even earlier, presenting a significant puzzle for mainstream historical narratives that typically view complex societies and state-level civilizations as relatively recent developments. The evidence pointed to is as fascinating as it is controversial. It highlights the architectural marvels of megalithic structures like Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, the iconic Stonehenge in England, and the majestic pyramids of Egypt and Mesoamerica.
One of the many ways that Göbekli Tepe, I think, is going to prove to be a game changer is it's going to require us to reconsider our whole dating sequence on megalithic sites around the world.
These ancient constructs are not just stone monuments but testimonies to an advanced knowledge of architecture, engineering, and astronomy. Precise astronomical alignments of these structures, such as the alignment of the Great Pyramids with Orion's Belt or the solstices and equinoxes at Stonehenge, underscore a sophisticated understanding of the heavens. This expertise suggests that the people who built these monuments had a deep comprehension of celestial bodies, seasons, and cycles. The theory extends beyond monumental architecture. It proposes that this civilization possessed advanced navigational skills, which could explain how similar architectural styles and astronomical knowledge appeared across vast distances, transcending oceans and continents. The scale, precision, and complexity of these megalithic structures indicate technological and engineering skills far beyond what has traditionally been attributed to prehistoric societies. Furthermore, the alignment of ancient monuments with astronomical phenomena hints at a comprehensive grasp of astronomy, deeply integrated into their cultural and religious practices. Evidence of sophisticated urban planning evident in the ruins of ancient cities suggests advanced societal organization and knowledge of city building. The global spread of similar architectural and astronomical insights among disparate ancient cultures indicates a shared source of advanced knowledge. This could have been disseminated by survivors of this prehistoric society, whose legacy might be the foundation upon which later civilizations built their own achievements. Journey back to the Eocene epoch and you'd discover Antarctica vastly different from the icy, remote continent familiar to us today. This fascinating period reveals a past where Antarctica wasn't engulfed in ice but was bustling with life. During the Eocene, Antarctica occupied the same position over the South Pole as it does currently. Yet the global climate was substantially warmer, enabling the continent to support a climate far removed from the frozen desert we recognize now.
There was a lush rainforest that is now covered in miles of ice.
Yeah, that's probably true. The Earth's climate was very different from how it is today.
This era marked a time of significant change, with continental drift following the breakup of the supercontinent Pangaea. As part of the Gondwana fragment, Antarctica was gradually moving to its present isolated position, while continents like Australia and South America began to drift away, modifying ocean currents and climatic conditions. A notable difference from today's Antarctica was the absence of the vast ice sheet that currently covers the continent. The Eocene's elevated global temperatures meant Antarctica was devoid of this extensive ice cover, which had profound implications for the planet's climate. The lack of ice's high albedo effect, which reflects solar radiation, resulted in an even warmer Earth's climate. The tectonic activity during the Eocene was crucial in reshaping our world. The breakup of Gondwana persisted, and the formation of the Drake Passage between Antarctica and South America began to physically isolate the continent. This isolation marked a critical juncture in Antarctica's climatic history. Another significant development was the formation of the Antarctic Circumpolar Current towards the end of the Eocene, or at the beginning of the Oligocene. As the world's largest ocean current encircling Antarctica, the ACC played a vital role in the thermal isolation of the continent. By circulating cold water, it established a climatic barrier that kept warmer waters at bay, leading to the cooling and eventual glaciation of Antarctica. Fossil evidence breathes life into the Eocene Antarctica, with forests of beeches, conifers and ferns indicating a much warmer and more humid climate than today's icy conditions. These fossils, including those of plants and pollen, demonstrate that the continent once supported a diverse range of flora and fauna. Sea levels during the Eocene were significantly higher due to the absence of large ice caps and the warmer global temperatures. This resulted in different coastal configurations, with areas now above water being submerged at that time. The elevated sea levels and warmer temperatures fostered a rich and diverse marine ecosystem, distinct from the current Antarctic marine life. Thus, when we contemplate Antarctica today, it's essential to remember that this icy continent once experienced a vastly different past, one that was warmer, brimming with life, and played a pivotal role in Earth's geological and climatic history. The Eocene epoch, a captivating chapter in Earth's history characterized by dramatic climatic shifts and significant transformations in life on our planet. This period, stretching from about 56 to 34 million years ago, is nestled within the Paleogene period of the Cenozoic era, famously known as the Age of Mammals. This era marked the flourishing of mammals, taking the stage after the dinosaurs exited at the end of the Cretaceous period. The Eocene sits between the Paleocene and the Oligocene epochs, with each phase documenting crucial geological, climatic, and biological shifts. Tectonic plates were on the move towards their current positions, influencing the oceans and sculpting the climate in profound ways. A notable event of this epoch was the Paleocene-Eocene thermal maximum, which occurred around 56 million years ago. Imagine Earth undergoing a sudden temperature surge, with temperatures increasing by 5 to 8 degrees Celsius in just a few thousand years, likely due to a massive release of methane from oceanic methane clathrates. This event significantly impacted ecosystems, leading to the extinction of some species while triggering rapid evolution and diversification in others, especially among mammals. During the Eocene, the atmosphere was laden with CO2, with levels ranging between 1,000 to 2,000 parts per million, far exceeding the pre-industrial levels of about 280 ppm. High CO2 levels, driven by volcanic activity, the combustion of organic matter, and the declining efficiency of carbon sinks, enveloped the Earth in a greenhouse climate. This led to rising temperatures, altering weather patterns and ocean currents, and crafting a world vastly different from our own. The Eocene's warmer conditions had significant effects on marine life. Temperature changes affected marine currents, altering species distribution and fostering the development of new ecosystems. It was a period of change, new beginnings, and dramatic shifts that laid the groundwork for the planet's future. The Eocene epoch, with its stories of warming, shifting, and evolving, serves as a reminder of the dynamic and ever-changing nature of Earth.
What was weird about Antarctica?
You can't go to the interior of Antarctica, which is where we were. So there, at the South Pole, there is a bunch of, from my understanding, like pure science going on there. This is straight up kind of tourism.
Antarctica's icy expanses have long been a source of fascination and mystery, not just for scientists and explorers, but also for those who delve into the world of conspiracy theories.
So the U.S. government's like, something's going on with Antarctica. There's some activity up there. We want to find out what's going on.
Among the most captivating of these theories is the idea that the world's billionaires are deeply involved in uncovering the secrets that lie hidden beneath the continent's frozen surface. At the heart of this intrigue is the theory that ancient civilizations, perhaps as legendary and sought after as Atlantis or Lemuria, might have once existed or even still exist under the miles of ice.
One of the things I find most striking is the presence of Antarctica on ancient maps.
Supporters of this idea point to intriguing pieces of evidence, such as the Piri Reis map from 1513. This map, they argue, depicts Antarctica's coastline with remarkable accuracy, long before it was officially discovered, hinting at the possibility of ancient, advanced seafarers who knew of its existence.
Because we didn't discover it until 1820, and yet it's on maps drawn in the 1500s with great detail.
Adding to the mystery are various anomalies and unexplained findings in Antarctica that fuel speculation about secret bases or remnants of ancient civilizations. For instance, satellite imagery has occasionally revealed patterns and structures that defy easy explanation, suggesting either human or alien activity. Then there's the historical fact of Germany's expeditions to the continent.
So the area of Antarctica they went to was New Schwabenland.
New Schwabenland.
While officially aimed at exploration and drilling, these missions are speculated by some to have been a cover for establishing secret bases or making contact with extraterrestrial technology.
He had made a deal, basically, working with
What?
You've never heard this?
No.
It's the greatest story ever, bro.
Perhaps the most famous piece of evidence cited by conspiracy theorists is Operation Highjump. Led by Admiral Richard E. Byrd in 1946 to 1947, this U.S. Navy operation was officially tasked with establishing research bases.
Why this interest in the bottom of the world? Nobody living down there, is there?
I tell you one reason they're interested. It's by far the most valuable, important place left in the world for science.
However, some believe it was actually a covert mission to investigate suspected alien bases or ancient ruins hidden beneath the ice. Operation Highjump, intended to establish the research base Little America 4, has sparked widespread speculation. Despite its official scientific and exploratory objectives, the operation's extensive military involvement has led some to wonder if there was more to the mission. Conspiracy theorists are especially intrigued by alleged diary entries and interviews, where Byrd spoke of encountering incredibly fast-flying objects, hinting at a non-human origin. These accounts fuel theories that Byrd's expeditions might have uncovered evidence of alien presence, or even ancient advanced technology hidden beneath the ice, possibly linked to secret German bases or lost civilizations. Adding depth to these narratives are claims from whistleblowers, individuals who say they've encountered the extraordinary during their time in Antarctica.
There's low frequency stuff going on, and they've made deals with people and things, and that's why things going on.
These accounts describe massive underground facilities and advanced technology, far beyond current human capabilities, including energy sources and spacecraft with designs not of this world. Some even claim direct interactions with extraterrestrial beings, describing these encounters as either peaceful exchanges of knowledge or distant observations with unclear motives. Allegations of government attempts to silence these stories or restrict access to certain Antarctic regions further compound the mystery, suggesting a cover-up of monumental proportions.
You can't go to the interior of Antarctica, which is where we were.
Supporting these individual accounts are broader theories suggesting that Antarctica might be a hub for secret space program activities and alien-human collaborations. Whistleblowers and theorists alike speculate that the continent's isolation makes it an ideal spot for covert operations away from the public eye. They talk of expeditions uncovering ancient artifacts and technologies, suggesting a history of Earth that includes interactions with advanced extraterrestrial civilizations long before recorded history. There's a compelling theory that suggests the continent is not just a frozen wilderness, but a treasure trove of undiscovered technology and mystical artifacts. This theory draws on the allure of the unknown, suggesting that billionaires in their quest for groundbreaking discoveries are funding expeditions to unearth secrets hidden beneath the ice. Imagine ancient alien technology, possibly lying dormant under the vast ice sheets. Artifacts and machinery from civilizations beyond our world could revolutionize our understanding of energy, propulsion, and technology itself. Then consider the possibility of finding mystical artifacts with immense historical significance, like the Ark of the Covenant or the Holy Grail. The idea that such objects could be hidden in Antarctica, far from the prying eyes of the mainstream world, adds an intriguing layer to the continent's allure. But what would one do with such discoveries? The theory suggests the construction of secret underground bases in Antarctica. These wouldn't be just any hideouts. We're talking about luxurious bunkers designed to shield the elite from global catastrophes, equipped with everything needed for self-sufficiency and advanced facilities. Imagine state-of-the-art laboratories dedicated to studying alien technology and ancient artifacts, all in a secure and secluded environment, away from the eyes of international agencies or potential espionage. What makes Antarctica so appealing for these secretive activities? It's the continent's extreme remoteness and the harsh climate, combined with the mystique of being Earth's last unexplored frontier. The Antarctic Treaty System, which prohibits military activity while promoting scientific cooperation, offers a unique legal loophole. In theory, those with sufficient resources and influence could exploit this to conduct activities that would be impossible or highly scrutinized elsewhere. In the vast icy wilderness of Antarctica, there are claims about geological anomalies and unexplained structures that seem to defy simple explanations. Take, for example, the pyramid-like formations spotted in satellite images and photographs of Antarctica. These structures bear a striking resemblance to the pyramids of Egypt, Mexico, and other ancient civilizations, featuring sharp angles and symmetrical geometries that suggest they might not be natural formations at all. Could these be the remnants of ancient civilizations that had contact with extraterrestrial beings? Or perhaps they were created by aliens themselves as energy transmitters, navigational aids for UFOs. The possibilities fuel endless speculation and wonder. Another fascinating theory revolves around the concept of an entrance to inner Earth in Antarctica. This idea posits that our planet has significant hollows or vast cavern systems capable of supporting life or entire ecosystems and civilizations. According to proponents, the icy landscape of Antarctica could be concealing entrances to these subterranean worlds, possibly inhabited by advanced civilizations or alien species. This theory isn't new. It has roots in various cultures and scholarly proposals throughout history. But in Antarctica, it takes on a new, mysterious dimension. with some claiming to have seen evidence of large openings or cave entrances that can't be explained by natural geological processes. Then there's the matter of unusual energy signatures detected in Antarctica. Occasionally, satellites and scientific instruments record unexplained heat sources under the ice or anomalous electromagnetic readings. While there might be natural explanations for these phenomena, such as geothermal activity, the more adventurous minds suggest they could be signs of alien technology. This could include anything from advanced propulsion systems powering underground bases to terraforming equipment meant to alter Earth's environment for extraterrestrial purposes. Adding another layer to the mystery, some argue that scientific missions to Antarctica are not what they seem. Instead of merely researching climate change, geology, or biology, these expeditions could be cover-ups for more secretive investigations into the anomalies. The suggestion is that these missions might be tasked with studying alien technology or engaging with extraterrestrial beings residing in hidden bases. The role of billionaires in potential alien collaborations takes center stage, especially when it comes to the icy expanse of Antarctica. There's talk, whispered in the circles that love to ponder the unknown, about how these ultra-wealthy individuals are not just idle spectators in the quest for extraterrestrial contact, but active participants. Rumors abound that some of them have been whisked away to secret meetings in the Antarctic wilderness, where they've sat down with beings from other worlds. The agenda? Nothing less than technology sharing, interstellar travel discussions, and maybe even plotting the course of global governance. But why would extraterrestrials choose to meet with billionaires? Well, it's said that these magnates are pouring money into covert operations and research teams with one goal: to dig up alien technology hidden beneath the endless ice. The prize, for those who believe in such tales, isn't just knowledge but power, the kind that could leapfrog humanity into a new era of technological supremacy. But with great power comes great, well, you know. The control over such alien technology could place unparalleled economic and military power in the hands of a select few, potentially reshaping the global power structure. It's even suggested that engagement with extraterrestrial beings could elevate certain billionaires or shadowy consortiums to the status of humanity's unofficial emissaries, wielding influence over interstellar diplomacy and policy. And then there's the chilling concept of a new world order, a theory that paints Antarctica not just as a meeting point with aliens, but as the headquarters for a global elite seeking to control or significantly influence world affairs. Imagine a coalition of billionaires, high-ranking politicians, and international bankers, all conspiring in a land of ice and snow, far from the oversight of national governments and the public eye.
One thing that they used to say is Hancock can't be right because there was no global cataclysm, 12 or 13,000 years ago. Well, now we know there was, and there are various explanations for it. Right at the epicenter of this cataclysm was a civilization that we would regard as advanced, not a simple hunter-gatherer civilization, which was utterly wiped out in this cataclysmic event.
Graham Hancock's interpretation of the Piri Reis map, created in 1513 by the Ottoman admiral and cartographer Piri Reis, presents a fascinating narrative about the knowledge of ancient civilizations. The map, discovered in 1929 in the Topkapi Palace in Istanbul, Turkey, has only about 1/3 of its original content preserved. Despite this, the map's detail and coverage, including parts of Europe, North Africa, and the Brazilian coast, are noteworthy. The scale of the map is inconsistent, a common feature in early cartography, and it includes various annotations and illustrations.
This is a very neglected area of the world as far as deep and ancient archaeology goes. If you're going to propose a lost civilization, there are certain preconditions.
Piri Reis himself indicated that the map was compiled using various earlier sources, including charts from Christopher Columbus and possibly older maps, which might have included Western and Eastern, including Arabic, navigational charts. Hancock's interpretation of the map primarily focuses on its depiction of the Antarctic coastline. He claims that the map shows the northern coastline of Antarctica in a largely ice-free state, which, according to him, last occurred more than 6,000 years ago. This assertion, if true, would imply a significant historical anomaly, suggesting that ancient seafarers might have charted Antarctica long before it was officially discovered. However, this interpretation is contentious. Critics argue that the so-called Antarctic coast could be a misrepresentation or misinterpretation of the South American coast, or even an imaginative addition, not uncommon in early cartography.
In 1513, when Piri Reis drew the map, Antarctica had not been discovered. In fact, it wasn't discovered until 1880 by our civilization. It incorporates highly accurate relative longitudes. To do longitudes accurately on maps requires a chronometer, a marine chronometer that will keep accurate time at sea. And again, this was something that our civilization couldn't do until the late 18th century.
Another intriguing aspect of the Piri Reis map, according to Hancock, is its accuracy in longitude in certain sections. He posits that this level of accuracy indicates a more advanced knowledge of navigation and geography than what was available at the time. However, this claim is debated by scholars who argue that the accuracies could be coincidental or exaggerated, since accurate methods for measuring longitude were not developed until the 18th century. Hancock also suggests that the map depicts mountain ranges in Antarctica, which were unknown and under ice until recent times. This, he believes, further points to ancient knowledge of geography. Critics, however, counter that these features could be inaccuracies, such as misdrawn coastlines or symbolic illustrations, rather than representations of actual geographical features. Graham Hancock's hypothesis about advanced ancient knowledge, particularly as seen through the lens of ancient maps like the Piri Reis map, certainly stirs up a conversation about our understanding of historical and archaeological knowledge. Hancock points out that these maps display a level of geographical detail that seems remarkably accurate, especially when you consider the time they were created. For example, the Piri Reis map, which includes detailed coastlines and island locations, seems to suggest a level of knowledge that surpasses what was known or should have been possible at the time. It's quite intriguing, really. One of the more captivating aspects of Hancock's theory is the suggestion that some of these maps show features that were not officially recognized until much later.
Well, this map was drawn in 1813. It's the Pinkerton World Map, and it's based on the latest science available in 1813. So Antarctica isn't there. Why isn't Antarctica there? Because it's an honest map. They hadn't discovered it in 1813. So it's very odd, in my view, that Antarctica appears on much older source maps, which themselves are based on even older source maps.
Take, for instance, his interpretation of the Antarctic coast as depicted on the Piri Reis map, a region not known in the 16th century. This leads Hancock to speculate that these maps could have been based on even older sources, possibly from a forgotten civilization that had extensively charted the globe. It's as if he's hinting at a lost chapter in human history, one that recorded the Earth with surprising accuracy and detail. When we dive into the technological implications of his theory, things get even more interesting. Hancock suggests that the creators of these original source maps must have had advanced navigational skills, including the accurate measurement of longitude. A significant challenge that wasn't resolved until much later with the invention of marine chronometers in the 18th century. The precision in these maps, particularly in terms of latitudinal and longitudinal readings, implies a level of cartographic sophistication that seems out of place in the historical timeline as we understand it. It's as if these map makers had tools and knowledge that history says they shouldn't have had. Graham Hancock's ideas about the loss and transmission of ancient knowledge are quite captivating, weaving together a narrative that stretches across time and civilizations. He proposes that a wealth of geographical knowledge, once possessed by an advanced ancient civilization, was largely lost due to cataclysmic events or perhaps the gradual decline of this civilization.
It's a navigational device. It's a geared, cogged system that allows you to track the passage of time and figure out where you are. Again, that testifies to a lost navigational skill that we have not taken account of before.
It's a thought-provoking idea, suggesting that what we know of our past might just be the tip of the iceberg. Hancock believes that some remnants of this knowledge managed to survive and eventually influence the cartographic work of later civilizations, including those in the medieval and Renaissance periods. Hancock delves into how this information could have been passed down. He suggests a variety of channels, including oral traditions, mythological texts, and even surviving cartographic materials, which later mapmakers like Piri Reis might have used. Imagine, for a moment, ancient mariners passing down stories of distant lands and seas, with these tales eventually finding their way into the maps and charts of later generations. One of the more intriguing aspects of Hancock's hypothesis is his connection with myths and legends from different cultures around the world. He often draws parallels between these stories and the idea of advanced prehistoric knowledge and global cataclysms, such as the Great Flood narratives found in many cultures. In Hancock's view, these myths and legends aren't just fanciful stories, they're potential historical records, allegorical but based on real events and knowledge from these lost civilizations. It's a narrative that challenges us to think beyond conventional historical accounts, suggesting that our ancestors might have known far more about the world than we give them credit for.
You see, the one thing there's no dispute about anymore is that the Younger Dryas was a cataclysm. The megafauna that die off, the disruption of human activity that takes place at that time, the huge climate changes, this was a cataclysm by any standards. Where the argument still goes on is what caused the cataclysm.
Graham Hancock has this really interesting, if somewhat controversial, hypothesis about a global cataclysm that he believes occurred around 10,600 BCE. He suggests that Earth was hit by a comet or a series of comet impacts at this time, leading to massive environmental and climatic upheavals worldwide. This idea is particularly interesting because he links it to the Younger Dryas period, a well-documented era of abrupt climate change that started around 12,900 years ago and lasted for about 1,300 years. The Younger Dryas is known for a sudden shift back to colder and drier conditions following a period of warming after the last ice age. Hancock posits that this comet impact could have been the trigger for this dramatic climatic shift. What's intriguing is how Hancock uses ice core samples from Greenland and Antarctica to support his theory. These ice cores, which provide a detailed record of past temperatures and atmospheric compositions, show evidence of a rapid climatic change during the Younger Dryas. He sees this as a smoking gun, indicating a major impact event. He also points to geological evidence like sediment layers that show signs of sudden environmental changes, further supporting his comet impact theory.
We see all the megafauna dying off suddenly and rapidly. We see rises in sea level. We see a huge collapse in global temperature. What is becoming clearer and clearer is that the evidence that a comet was behind it is extremely strong.
But Hancock doesn't stop there. He goes on to suggest that this hypothesized comet impact had profound effects on both flora and fauna, including contributing to the extinction of many large mammal species during what's known as the Pleistocene megafauna extinction. The changes in vegetation and ecosystems, he argues, would have had cascading effects on wildlife and human populations alike. For human societies, Hancock believes this event was catastrophic, causing significant disruptions and leading to the loss of advanced knowledge and cultural practices of prehistoric civilizations. It's like he's suggesting a kind of cultural amnesia, where societies forgot the advancements they had made. And then there's this fascinating idea that survivors of this cataclysm might have passed on fragments of their advanced knowledge to other cultures, influencing the development of future civilizations. It's a narrative that makes you wonder about the connections between ancient civilizations and how knowledge could have been transferred across generations and geographies in ways we might not fully understand.
Why this interest in the bottom of the world? Nobody living down there.
I tell you one reason they're interested. It's by far the most valuable, important place left in the world for science.
Have you ever heard of Operation Highjump?
No. Dude, it's Operation Highjump. What does that mean?
You've never heard this?
No.
It's the greatest story ever, bro.
Project Highjump, also known as the United States Navy Antarctic Developments Program, 1946 to 1947, stands out as a remarkable chapter in the history of exploration, blending military precision with scientific curiosity. This operation, under the guidance of the indomitable Admiral Richard E. Byrd, was more than just an expedition. It was a groundbreaking venture into the unknown, aimed at asserting US presence and prowess in the Antarctic during the tense early years of the Cold War.
So the U.S. government's like, something's going on with Antarctica. There's some activity up there. We want to find out what's going on. So they send this cat named Admiral Byrd up to investigate with a giant fleet.
At the heart of Project Highjump was the establishment of Little America 4, the latest in a series of bases that served as a testament to human resilience and ingenuity. Located strategically on the Ross Ice Shelf near the Bay of Whales, this base was not just a shelter but a fully equipped research station. With state-of-the-art labs, living quarters, and storage units all designed to endure the extreme cold, Little America 4 became the epicenter of operations facilitating groundbreaking research in meteorology, geology, and glaciology. It was from here that aerial and ground surveys were launched, significantly enhancing our understanding of Antarctic geography. But Project Highjump was as much about the people as it was about the place.
And this is where the missing 411 come from, which is all these people have mysteriously disappeared in force.
Over 4,700 military personnel underwent rigorous training to adapt to the harsh polar conditions, marking the operation as much a human endeavor as a technological one. The expedition tested the limits of cold weather gear, from specialized clothing to heating systems, ensuring the team could operate effectively in the unforgiving Antarctic environment.
There will be a number of expeditions to the bottom of the world because the government has really become interested.
The technological achievements of Highjump were nothing short of revolutionary. The operation marked the first major use of helicopters and aircraft in Antarctica, transforming the logistics of polar expeditions. This fleet of snow tractors, weasels, aircraft, and ships was not just tested, but proven in the polar climate, providing invaluable data for future operations in similar conditions. Beyond the scientific and logistical achievements, Project Highjump was a statement of geopolitical intent.
I 100% believe this is a spiritual war and that these people are working with dark entities, and that's what this is all about.
In the shadow of the Cold War, establishing a U.S. presence in Antarctica was a strategic move, showcasing American capabilities and interests in this remote region. The operation navigated the complex terrain of international law and diplomacy, aiming to consolidate U.S. claims and influence in Antarctica.
I think there's low-frequency stuff going on, and they've made deals with people and things, and that's why I think's going on.
It's clear that this was no ordinary expedition. It was a bold foray into the unknown. The establishment of Little America 4 and the extensive training and testing that took place under the harsh Antarctic conditions were all steps toward a greater understanding of our planet. The legacy of Project Highjump would eventually lead to the Antarctic Treaty System. When Admiral Richard E. Byrd spearheaded Project Highjump in the mid-1940s, he wasn't just leading an expedition. He was venturing into the unknown on a scale never before seen in Antarctic exploration. This ambitious endeavor by the United States Navy was a testament to human curiosity and the drive to push beyond conventional boundaries. With over 4,700 personnel on board, ranging from naval officers to scientists and support staff, the operation was a massive undertaking that showcased the Navy's commitment to exploring and understanding the mysteries of the Antarctic continent. The fleet for this colossal mission was just as impressive, comprising 13 ships with diverse capabilities. Among them, the USS Philippine Sea stood out, not just as an aircraft carrier, but as a floating base for aerial operations that brought unprecedented mobility and reach to the expedition. This fleet, complete with icebreakers, supply ships, and destroyers, played pivotal roles, from navigating through treacherous ice to providing essential logistical support and serving as platforms for scientific research. This innovation opened new avenues for exploration and research, allowing the team to reach previously inaccessible areas. Fixed-wing aircraft were extensively used for aerial photography and mapping, covering nearly 1.5 million square kilometers of uncharted territory. This was no small feat. The aerial reconnaissance conducted during Highjump was crucial for mapping the continent's geography, studying its geology, and planning future expeditions. The resulting photographs and maps became authoritative sources of Antarctic geography for years to come. The harsh and extreme conditions of Antarctica posed significant challenges, necessitating innovative technological adaptations. Everything from vehicles to aircraft and ships was modified to withstand the polar conditions. Special insulation, heating systems, and lubricants were developed to ensure functionality in the extreme cold. These adaptations were not just crucial for the success of the expedition, they contributed to the development of technologies that would be used in cold environments worldwide. According to some, the United States Navy's expedition to the icy continent wasn't just about exploring uncharted territory. It was a covert operation to uncover something much more extraordinary: exotic technologies or evidence of ancient civilizations buried beneath the ice. The story goes a bit like this. Tucked away in the vast frozen landscapes of Antarctica, there might have been remnants of an advanced ancient civilization, or perhaps even a crashed alien spacecraft. Imagine that, hidden bases or technology from other worlds right here on Earth, lying in wait under the ice. This theory plays into the idea that such discoveries could explain the rapid technological advancements of the period. Maybe, just maybe, the team behind Project Highjump was on the brink of uncovering secrets akin to those of Atlantis or other legendary lands, secrets that could rewrite our understanding of history and science. But let's take a step back and sift through the layers of this captivating story. When we dive into the official records and facts from the expedition, a different picture emerges, one rooted firmly in the realm of scientific exploration and research. There's no denying the operation was ambitious and groundbreaking, but its achievements lie in the contributions it made to our understanding of the Antarctic region, not in unearthing ancient tech or alien relics. Now, one of the most intriguing conspiracy theories that's been swirling around for decades, the idea that Project Highjump was actually a secret mission to uncover a German base hidden deep in the icy expanses of Antarctica. It's a tale that mixes real historical events with a hefty dose of speculation, all set against the mysterious backdrop of the Antarctic wilderness. Let's start at the beginning. Back in the late 1930s, Germany did indeed embark on an expedition to Antarctica, known as the Third German Antarctic Expedition. This venture was aimed at expanding Germany's whaling capacities and staking a territorial claim for resource extraction, naming the explored area Neuschwabenland, after a region in Germany. However, despite the grand ambitions, the expedition didn't result in the establishment of a permanent base, just a fleeting brush with the icy continent. Now onto the more thrilling part of the story, the theory that the Germans conducted secret drilling operations in Antarctica. According to various speculative narratives, these operations had several possible goals: hunting for rare minerals to power their war machine, establishing a covert base under the ice, dubbed Base 2111 or New Berlin, or even seeking out ancient knowledge or alien tech hidden in the Antarctic depths. It's the stuff of science fiction with a dash of historical intrigue. But let's pause for a reality check. The technical feats required for deep drilling in the Antarctic ice are formidable, even by today's standards. Considering the technology available in the 1930s and 1940s, the idea that they could have pulled off such a feat is highly improbable. Modern ice core drilling projects, which have successfully reached great depths, rely on sophisticated equipment and logistics that simply weren't at the Germans' disposal. But as World War II came to a close, rumors started to take flight. Stories began circulating about Germans fleeing and seeking refuge in a secret base in Antarctica, supposedly established in the wake of the Richer expedition. As the years went by, this theory found its way into various books, articles, and eventually online forums and documentaries, each iteration adding layers to the narrative. Speculations about the Germans developing advanced technology and weaponry in isolation, far from the prying eyes of the world, only served to deepen the mystery and allure of the story. Yet despite its captivating narrative, this theory remains just that, a theory.
For a long time, it was held that the Neanderthals were stupid, primitive subhumans, shambling, lacking symbolism. Turns out that that's not true at all. Certain populations in the world today still have 3 to 5% of Neanderthal DNA.
Tucked away in the rugged terrains of the Altai Mountains, where the borders of Russia, China, Mongolia, and Kazakhstan meet, lies a fascinating piece of history that has captured the imaginations of archaeologists and historians alike: the Denisova Cave.
This is an issue that I go into in America before. And what first drew me into it was Denisova Cave in Siberia.
This isn't just any cave, it's a treasure trove of human evolution, nestled in an area known for its breathtaking biodiversity and complex geological history. The mountains themselves are alive with a rich variety of plants and animals, setting the perfect backdrop for a story that's as much about the natural world as it is about our ancient ancestors.
I think everybody's heard of the Neanderthals, and these days I think everybody's heard of the Denisovans as well.
The story of Denisova Cave began to unfold in the 1970s, when Soviet scientists first explored its depths. At that time, their eyes were set on unraveling the geological and paleontological mysteries of the region, largely overlooking the cave's potential to unlock secrets of our past. It's named after Denis, an 18th century hermit who once called the cave home, adding a touch of human history to its ancient walls. With its intricate network of chambers and galleries, the cave hinted at stories of long-term habitation by early humans, waiting just beneath the surface to be discovered. But it wasn't until 2008 that the cave truly stepped into the spotlight, thanks to the discovery of a small finger bone.
In Russia, in Denisova Cave, they find a single pinky bone from a little finger. And what they discover is, this isn't a Neanderthal, this isn't an anatomically modern human being, this is another human species.
This wasn't just any bone, it belonged to the Denisovans, an ancient group of hominins previously unknown to science. Suddenly, the world was paying attention, eager to learn more about these mysterious inhabitants. The cave, with its rich layers of history buried within, revealed that it had been a bustling crossroads for different groups over tens of thousands of years. What's particularly intriguing about the Denisova Cave is not just its archaeological wealth, but also its location. Nestled in a remote part of the Altai Mountains, reaching it is no small feat. The harsh climatic conditions add an extra layer of challenge for those daring enough to explore its secrets. Yet it's precisely these obstacles that make the cave so alluring to researchers from across the globe. Every expedition brings us closer to understanding not just the Denisovans, but the broader narrative of human history. Imagine stumbling upon a piece of the puzzle that is human history, hidden away in the depths of Siberia's Denisova Cave. The Denisovans are a bit of a mystery, genetically distinct from both modern humans and Neanderthals. Their DNA tells us they branched off from Neanderthals around 400,000 years ago, enriching the narrative of the Pleistocene era's human saga. But when it comes to what they looked like, we're mostly in the dark. Our clues? Just a finger bone, a few teeth, and a piece of skull. Though these fragments are robust, they hint at Denisovans being well equipped for surviving the tough Pleistocene Asia. Now here's where it gets really interesting. The Denisovans didn't just keep to themselves, they left a mark on us modern humans. Certain groups today, especially in Asia and Oceania, carry Denisovan DNA. For instance, the indigenous people of Melanesia, including Papua New Guineans, have about 5% of their DNA from Denisovans. This reveals a history of ancient interbreeding that is more complex and common than we ever imagined.
Anatomically modern humans interbred with Neanderthals. You can't interbreed with another species. They clearly were human beings.
Denisovans mixed not just with modern humans, but also Neanderthals and possibly another yet unidentified ancient human group. But what about their way of life? The Denisova Cave has given us a glimpse, yielding sophisticated tools, a bone needle, and even jewelry. These finds suggest a culture and level of sophistication that challenges our understanding of archaic humans. Their discovery of the Denisovans has been a game changer in evolutionary biology, painting a picture of our past that's far more intricate than previously thought. It's not just about who we are, but who we're connected to, revealing a web of interactions among ancient human species across Eurasia. Yet, for all we've learned, the Denisovans remain shrouded in mystery. With each fossil fragment and DNA sequence, scientists are slowly piecing together the jigsaw of our ancient past. The Denisovan genome in particular continues to be a treasure trove of information, promising to unlock even more secrets as research progresses. This story is far from over. It's an ongoing journey of discovery into who we are and where we come from. Siberia's Yakutia region, known for its jaw-dropping temperature extremes, is home to a place as intriguing as its ominous name suggests, the Valley of Death. Tucked away in the northeastern part of Siberia, in the Sakha Republic, this valley is not just a testament to nature's extremes but also a canvas for mysteries that boggle the mind. What sets this valley apart are the curious metallic structures scattered across its landscape. Picture this: dome-like formations and metal objects, some peeking out of the earth as if partially buried treasures all wrapped in a mystery. Are they ancient artifacts, remnants of meteorite impacts, or something else? The truth is, we're still scratching our heads trying to figure it out. Getting to the Valley of Death is an adventure in itself. It's remote, wildly inhospitable, and the weather swings from scorching summers to winters that would give even the hardiest explorer pause. This makes studying those mysterious structures all the more challenging. Local folklore adds layers of intrigue to the valley. The Yakut people have tales that could make your hair stand on end, associating the valley and its metallic mysteries with danger and otherworldly energies. According to legend, these structures could wield unknown powers, causing illness or worse to those who dare too close. While these stories add to the valley's mystique, they remain unverified whispers of the past. Scientists, on their part, have theories that could explain the existence of these structures. Some suggest they might be the aftermath of meteorite impacts, pointing to Siberia's history with celestial events like the famous Tunguska explosion. Others speculate they could be the work of ancient humans or a civilization lost to time, leaving behind these puzzling artifacts. But here's the rub. Actually exploring this area is incredibly tough. The extreme climate, the area's seclusion, and the sheer lack of infrastructure make sustained research difficult. This scarcity of empirical data means much about the Valley of Death remains a tantalizing mystery. This shroud of mystery isn't just a magnet for scientists. Historians, paranormal enthusiasts, and even adventurous tourists are drawn to its secrets. The allure of uncovering more about Siberia's ancient past and its uncharted territories is irresistible. As technology and exploration methods improve, who knows what secrets we'll unearth from the Valley of Death. Until then, it remains one of Siberia's most captivating enigmas, a place where history, legend, and science converge in the most mysterious of dances. Let's dive into one of Siberia's most mind-boggling mysteries, the Tunguska event of 1908. Imagine a blast so powerful it flattens 80 million trees over an area of 2,150 square kilometers. That's exactly what happened near the Podkamennaya Tunguska River in central Siberia on June 30th, 1908. This wasn't just any old explosion, it was roughly 1,000 times mightier than the Hiroshima atomic bomb. The shockwaves from this colossal blast were felt up to 2,000 kilometers away. People at the time reported seeing a bright blue light, almost like a second sun, followed by a series of booms that were strong enough to knock folks off their feet and shatter windows hundreds of kilometers away. Fast forward to 1927, and enter Leonid Kulik, a Russian mineralogist who was the first to scientifically investigate the site. Kulik was expecting to find a meteorite crater, but was met instead with a sea of flattened trees, splayed out from a central point, like the spokes of a wheel with not a crater in sight. The most accepted theory: a small asteroid or comet fragment burst through the atmosphere, exploding 5 to 10 kilometers above ground with the force of 10-15 megatons of TNT. But as with all good mysteries, there are other angles. Everything from a natural gas explosion from the Earth's belly to wilder notions like antimatter or even a mini black hole having a run-in with our planet. The aftermath of this explosion wasn't just a big patch of knocked-down trees, it had a significant environmental punch, boosting tree growth in the area and reportedly causing genetic mutations in plants and animals. Likely thanks to the extreme heat and shockwave, it even had a hand in global atmospheric changes, like the creation of night-shining clouds and a dip in atmospheric transparency across Europe and Asia. But here's where it gets even juicier. The Tunguska event has been a hotbed for conspiracy theories and wild speculation. From alien spacecraft crashes to top-secret weapon tests, the event's mysterious nature has sparked imaginations worldwide. Despite decades of research and countless theories, the Tunguska event remains one of the 20th century's most tantalizing unsolved mysteries. It's a real-life sci-fi story set in the remote Siberian wilderness that continues to intrigue and puzzle us to this day. Exploring the Arctic, especially the North Pole, is like stepping into another world, a world of ice and extreme conditions. But guess what? Thanks to some incredible technological advancements, we're not just surviving in this icy wilderness, we're actually thriving and discovering more every day. What frozen relics lay beneath the ice preserved for millennia? The ice is like a time capsule waiting to be thawed out to tell us about our ancient brothers in past. Before we get into what is frozen up there, let's get into how we get there. Take icebreakers, for instance. These aren't your average boats. They're like the Hercules of the sea, built with super strong steel hulls to muscle through ice several meters thick. And their engines? We're talking about power on a whole different level. Some of them are even nuclear powered, which means they can keep going for years without a break. It's like having the endurance of a marathon runner with the strength of a heavyweight boxer. And navigating through a maze of ice is no joke. These icebreakers are equipped with GPS and radar systems so advanced, they make your car's navigation look like a child's toy. They find the best and safest paths through the ice, avoiding any nasty surprises that might be waiting. Now let's talk about what these icebreakers can do apart from breaking ice. Many of them are like floating science labs packed with equipment for all kinds of research. Imagine being able to study the ocean and drill into ancient ice, all from the comfort of your boat. It's like having a time machine and a science lab all in one. But what about when you need to get around on land? That's where the real fun begins. We've got snowmobiles and all-terrain vehicles that have been beefed up for the Arctic. Think of them as the monster trucks of the snow world, with heated controls and extra-wide tracks for gliding over ice and snow. And for the heavy-duty stuff, there are these tracked vehicles, kind of like tanks, but for science. They're the ultimate in off-road vehicles, able to carry teams and their gear over the toughest terrain you can imagine. Staying warm and safe out there is a whole science in itself. The gear explorers wear and use is nothing short of amazing. We're talking about clothing and sleeping bags made from materials that are not only super warm but also light and flexible. It's like being wrapped in a high-tech blanket that's also weatherproof. And the tents, they're like fortresses against the wind and snow. The middle of the Arctic, a place so remote and vast that it feels like you're on another planet. Now think about staying connected in such a place. Sounds like a sci-fi movie, right? But here's where our incredible technology comes into play. First off, we've got satellite phones. These aren't your average smartphones. They're like lifelines to the outside world, working in the coldest of colds, ensuring that no matter where you are in this icy wilderness, you can reach out and touch someone, metaphorically speaking. And then there's GPS, the global positioning system. This is like the ultimate compass, but way more high-tech. In the Arctic, where everything around you is just snow and ice, GPS devices are what keep you on track, literally. They tell you where you are, where you're going, and how to get back. It's like having a personal guide who knows every inch of this frozen world. Now let's talk about radios. We're using shortwave and VHF radios, which might sound old school, but they're super reliable. These radios are perfect for when you need to chat with someone nearby, or when those high-tech satellites decide to play hide and seek. It's like having a trusty sidekick that's always ready to go. But wait, there's more. We've got these automated weather stations scattered around, and they are like our eyes and ears in the Arctic. They're loaded with sensors that measure all sorts of things about the weather, giving us real-time updates. It's crucial because out here, the weather can change in the blink of an eye. And being prepared is the difference between a successful expedition and a disaster. These stations are pretty much self-sufficient, running remotely and sending us data via satellite. So even when we're not there, we're still getting updates. It's like having a guardian watching over the Arctic, keeping an eye on things. Now you know the Arctic, with its vast frozen landscapes and harsh conditions, is like Planet Hoth from Star Wars, except right here on Earth. But get this, humans have been calling this icy frontier home for thousands of years. It's a story that's as incredible as it is inspiring. Way back during the last ice age, we're talking about something like 20,000 to 40,000 years ago, the first adventurous souls made their way into the Arctic. Imagine that time. It was an era when mammoth and saber-toothed tigers roamed, and these hunter-gatherers followed them over land bridges like the one that existed between what's now Russia and Alaska. They were living a life on the move, in a world where the sun barely rose in winter. Then, when the Ice Age packed its bags and left, around 11,700 years ago, things started warming up a bit. This change revealed new habitable lands, and people began to settle down, building communities and really getting to know their chilly neighborhood. We found tools and all sorts of stuff from these ancient Arctic folks, giving us a peek into how they transitioned from life on the go to setting up shop. Over thousands of years, several cultures popped up in the Arctic. The Paleo-Eskimos, with their top-notch tool-making skills, were like the first wave. Then, around 1,000 years ago, the Thule culture emerged, who were the ancestors of today's Inuit people. They were like the Arctic innovators, coming up with cool stuff like dog sleds, now surviving in the Arctic. It's not like living anywhere else. These folks were the MacGyvers of their time, building igloos out of snow blocks. Genius. They're warm, sturdy, and the design is so clever it keeps the cold out and the cozy in. And they figured out how to heat these places with oil lamps without turning them into saunas. Then there's the whole food situation. They weren't just hunting. They were crafting specialized tools like harpoons and bows, tailored for Arctic conditions. And talk about transport. They had kayaks and umiaks for water and sleds for snow, all animal-powered. Diving into the mysteries of the Arctic Ocean is like unlocking the secrets of an alien world right here on Earth. Beneath the icy surface, there's a whole landscape of underwater mountains, and it's as mind-blowing as any cosmic mystery. Thanks to some really high-tech submarines and remotely operated vehicles, we've been able to get a glimpse of these hidden giants. These machines are like our deep-sea eyes, equipped with sonar and imaging systems that bring the unseen into view. Navigating these icy waters is no walk in the park. It's a world of extreme cold, shifting ice and remote locations. But despite these challenges, we've managed to map out an incredible underwater terrain that's got valleys, peaks, and ridges, much like the mountain ranges on land. Now let's talk about what these mountains are made of. We've got a mix of rocks like basalt and granite down there. Some of these formations are even volcanic, hinting at fiery pasts beneath these frozen waters. It's like finding clues to a long-lost world. The way these mountains came to be is a tale of Earth's inner workings, the shifting and shuffling of tectonic plates, creating and shaping these massive structures. It's a story that's been unfolding for millions of years, written in stone under the sea. But here's the really fascinating part. These underwater mountains aren't just geological wonders. They're like the beating heart of the Arctic marine life. They influence ocean currents and create spots where cold, nutrient-rich waters come up to the surface. This process is like setting the table for a grand feast, attracting all sorts of marine life and making these areas hotspots for biodiversity. You've got everything from tiny plankton to big marine mammals and birds, all thriving thanks to these underwater giants. Studying these ranges isn't just about mapping the seafloor. It's about understanding the complex web of life in these icy waters. And there's a bigger picture too. These mountain ranges are like the canaries in the coal mine for climate change. Changes in water temperature and ice cover can shake up the whole system, affecting the currents and the life that depends on them. These underwater mountain ranges in the Arctic is like piecing together a puzzle that stretches from the depths of the Earth to the surface of the sea. Exploring the Arctic's ice caps and glaciers is like unraveling a story that's been frozen in time, literally. It's an icy world up there, but it holds secrets that could tell us a lot about our planet's past and future. One of the coolest ways we get to know these icy giants is by drilling into them. We take these long cylinders of ice called ice cores, and they're like time capsules. Each layer is a snapshot of a different era, going back thousands, sometimes even hundreds of thousands of years. It's like having a history book written in snow and ice. These ice cores are amazing. They've got trapped air bubbles, tiny particles, and even isotopes that give us the lowdown on what the Earth's atmosphere was like way back when. Think about it, we can learn about ancient volcanic eruptions and past temperature changes, all from a piece of ice. It's like being a detective, but for climate history. And then there's the way these ice caps and glaciers move. It's not just a slow crawl. We're talking about a complex dance influenced by the temperature, ocean currents, winds, and even the shape of the land and seafloor underneath. The way to keep an eye on this. Satellites. These high-tech eyes in the sky give us a bird's-eye view of how the ice is flowing and changing over time. It's like watching a slow-motion ballet from space. But why does all this matter? Well, the way these ice masses move and change is a big deal for understanding our planet's climate system. It's not just about the Arctic, it's about the whole Earth. The way ice caps and glaciers respond to climate change can tell us a lot about what's in store for our planet. Plus, their melting has a direct impact on sea levels worldwide. It's like piecing together a puzzle that connects the icy poles to the rest of the world. So studying the Arctic's ice is more than just a chilly adventure. It's a journey into Earth's past and a guide to understanding its future. And the more we learn, the better we can prepare for what's coming. It's a story written in ice, and every discovery is another piece of the puzzle. Isn't that just mind-blowing?